In today's video, one of the most popular and polarizing characters in Star Wars, Galen Marek, aka Starkiller, will be getting time displaced in this What If video. Now, I think personally this What If is one of my best What Ifs I've ever done, and if you like these type of videos, please like and subscribe. But let's get into it. Now, Galen Marek in this situation will be growing up with Anakin Skywalker. For the sake of entertainment, I will be disregarding the canon timeline for the freedom of deciding how much this what if changes the landscape. That means, while I will be following some events that occurred in the canon timeline, some things will be altered due to this what if. Now, let's get started. Galen Marek was always a powerful force sensitive, and this will not change in this scenario. Galen will have 5+ years of academy experience under his belt by the time Anakin Skywalker arrives. The reason for this is that usually Jedi are indoctrinated into the academy around the age of being a toddler, so 2, 3, and this won't be any different for Galen. And Anakin arrives when he's about 9 years old. Now, Anakin arrives. First major change we see is Anakin versus his peers. Anakin, due to his raw power, quickly surpassed his classmates. However, Galen Marek is no average prospect. These two will soon become rivals. Galen is more experienced, while Anakin is slightly stronger. I see these early days consisting of healthy rivalry and training. Because of their rough equivalency, both progress a bit faster due to the rivalry. Here is another major part of this what if. Mace Windu selects Galen Marek as his apprentice. The selection process would be dynamic. Due to the raw power and steadfastness of his character, Windu would elect to take the young Galen Marek under his wing. Because he isn't being brutalized by Vader's rough training, I believe Galen will be more mature, and as a result, Windu would slowly introduce Galen to Vapad. Now, the reason he would be more mature is that because of his training and the brutality of it, Galen was a hothead and a raging, killer. But at this point, he gets to progress and mature as a normal Jedi. And like I said, because of this, he will begin to have access to Vapad. Galen and Anakin would talk less as they grow up, as Galen spends long periods of time meditating, training himself against the dark temptations of the dark side of Vapad. The Clone Wars begin. Anakin and Galen would be knighted early on. The Republic needed these two young heroes. As both fought hard, rumors would surface. Was Anakin truly the chosen one, or was it actually the young Galen Marek? What makes this interesting and what makes this valid is that some had even believed Mace Windu was actually the chosen one, not Anakin Skywalker. They actually disregarded some parts of the philosophies and the predictions and favored Mace as the chosen one. So it makes sense that they would favor Galen because he's training under Windu. It might even surpass Windu one day. Now we have Galen Marek versus Asajj Ventress. Why? I see Galen, because of his progression and because of his character, being tasked with taking down Asajj Ventress, the rogue Jedi turned Sith. While Asajj was strong and very capable, I believe Galen would take her out. This would be a slight help to the Jedi and the Republic in general, as a thorn in their side had been removed. Now, the early parts of the Revenge of the Sith would go the same. Galen is present when Anakin reveals Sidious' true identity to Mace Windu. Mace would instruct Galen to stay with Anakin, as he and a Jedi strike team would go arrest the Dark Lord. Growing distressed, Anakin would go anyways. Here, I actually don't see Galen Marek stopping him, but rather I could see Galen following him. Couple reasons. One, Galen doesn't want to start an outright fight with Anakin, and given Anakin's disposition, that likely would be the case. 2, his master is up there trying to arrest what would be the strongest Sith Lord ever. So he would like to see what's happening with his master. So on top of not wanting to start a fight, he's also interested in what's going on. The two would enter as Sidious was cornered, blasting away at Master Windu, who was reflecting it back with much difficulty. Galen looks around, growing cold as he sees the fellow Jedi slain. As Anakin and Windu argue over what should be done to the Chancellor, Galen remains silent. As Windu's arm comes down for the execution, Anakin ignites his lightsaber and brings it up. To his surprise, his blade is met by Galen's. "Don't do this," Galen pleads. Anakin roars and knocks back Galen, beginning their duel. Anakin gets the early advantage, his rage making him a juggernaut. Galen is forced to slip into Vapad, allowing the darkness to enter him. The two clash, blurring lights of death. It's anyone's game as they hear a cry. Sidious slumps over, dead, Master Windu standing over him. Anakin turns, wide-eyed, and then yells as his sword hand is sliced off. Galen then holds Anakin still with his blade at his throat, and finally Anakin stops, overwhelmed by a sense of dread. His family was doomed. At this point, Yoda and Kenobi would be recalled to the situation. They would come back successful on both ends for their missions. Also, the lack of Order 66 being executed makes it much easier for this to occur. The two come back, and that is when Anakin's story, the true story, is told. The story of how he was manipulated by Darth Sidious, I don't know why I said dark, and believed the only way to save his secret family was to follow the ways of the Sith and to seek out the truths of the Sith. Because of this, and because of the circumstances, I believe Anakin gets relief due to it. I believe they would understand what happened. They would understand he was being manipulated and misled by a Dark Lord who manipulated the entire Jedi, even Yoda. And because of this, I believe he would get let off. Luke and Leia are born, Padme lives, and Order 66 never occurs, assuring the survival of the Jedi Order. Now, if you want to see a part 2 to this, what happens after, let me know. I will construct a timeline and I'll construct a story for you. If you want to see Galen pick a new master or be picked by a new master, I have one in mind. I don't want to say it, but I will do that and and it will change the story. Because everyone knows Mace Windu is pretty powerful, so giving him that master is pretty convenient. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Post my content everywhere. Share it, especially if you're Star Wars fans. Anyways, it's been your boy Sir Splash. Make sure to check out my Patreon, link in the description. And I will see y'all later. Peace.